In this video, we'll be hunting 2 boxes of pennies. We'll be looking for any wheat pennies from 1950 or earlier. We'll also be looking for any foreigns, proofs, heirs or varieties, or any other cool things we can find. And we'll also be pulling out any copper pennies, so we'll see how many of those we get. And let's start with the box on the left, and I'll bring you in when we have a find. Roll 7, and we're going to have our first wheat penny because I just flattened out the roll and I can see the date. And it is a 1957 out of Denver. Roll 11, and we're going to have the first foreign of the hunt. And it looks like it's going to be a Canadian penny, which it is, and it's from 1984. Roll 14, and we have wheat cent number 2. Just uncovered it, and it's obverse facing. And it's a 1950, minted in Denver. Next roll number 15. Just opened it, and I see the reverse of a wheat cent right here. Will it be in the 50s like the others? Nope, it's a little bit older, and it's a 1944 out of Denver. Still on roll 15, and we have the second wheat cent of the roll, 4th wheat cent out of the hunt, and it's another 1957 out of Denver. Roll 16 is the 3rd roll in a row with a wheat cent because I just opened the roll and I see one right here. This one is a 1946 out of Denver. Roll 19, and we're going to have Canadian cent number 2 of the box near the start of the roll. And ooh, this one's a 1959, so that means it's going to be a young head. That's a cool find. Roll 22, and I see a couple Canadians in this roll. Let's pull out the more modern looking one first. This one is from 1994, and the other one is near the middle of the roll right here. That's from 1981. Same row as those 2 Canadians, and there's a wheat cent in there. And this one's a 1945 out of Denver. Next roll, roll 23. Just started looking through it. I just uncovered a wheat cent reverse. Doesn't look like it's going to be that old. And it's a 1951 from Denver. Roll 25, halfway point of the box, and I see another Canadian cent near the start of the roll. This one's from 1974. Roll 26, just open the roll, 3rd coin in, see a wheat cent. And this one is a 1952 minted in Philly. Roll 27, just open the roll, and I see a couple wheat cents, both by the date. Right here, it's the oldest of the box so far, a 1940 out of Denver. And then a little bit later, I see a last year, 1958 out of Denver. Next row, roll 28, and the wheat cents are hot in this box because I just uncovered another one, and this will be wheat cent number 11 already. Looks pretty nice, and it's a 1957 out of Philly. Still on roll 28, we have yet another wheat cent. It's another one in pretty decent shape, and this one's a 1956 out of Denver. We're on roll number 30, and I kind of failed at opening the roll, and it kind of exploded, but it did expose this wheat cent right here. Looks like it's another one in pretty decent shape, probably in the 50s, and yep, it's a last year 1958 Denver. Roll 37, and I see another Canadian right here. This one's from 1981. Still on the same roll, and I just uncovered another wheat cent. This one's a 1942 out of Philly, and it's wheat cent number 14. Roll 43, and I just uncovered another wheat cent. And this one looks old. It's pretty worn, but it looks like it's bent in the middle. Hopefully that means it's an old one. Wow. 2nd year wheat cent, 1910. Even though it's bent, it has pretty decent detail on the front, but wow, 1910, that's a really good find. That was all for box number 1, and it was a great box. We got a total of 15 wheat cents, with the key find being that 1910 in decent shape, but it is bent, so either way, that was a great box. Now let's go on to box number 2. Roll 54, and we have the first wheat cent of the 2nd box. That's yet another 1957 out of Denver. Next roll, and we have the first foreign of box number 2, and it's going to be another Canadian cent. This one is a 1974. Roll 6 of box 2, and we're going to have another foreign. I just uncovered it, and it's a young head Canadian. It's a 1964 or older, and this one is a 1962. Roll 12 of the second box, and we're going to have yet another Canadian penny near the beginning of the roll right here. This one's from 2001. Roll 18, and we finally have the second wheat cent of the second box, and it's from 1952, and it's out of Denver. Just picked up roll 20 out of the box and flipped it over. We have a 1987 Canadian cent ender. We'll see if there's anything else with it. First glance, doesn't look like there's anything else in the roll besides that Canadian ender. Roll 27, and we finally have another wheat cent. Spotted it near the back of the roll. It doesn't look too old, and it's a 1958 out of Denver. Roll 30, and we have another foreign. It's going to be yet another Canadian cent. This one's from 1976. Roll 34, and we're going to have another Canadian cent. Looks like it's going to be from the 80s. It is in 1989. Roll 36, and I just uncovered another Canadian penny. This one doesn't look too old, and it's from 2000. Roll 39, yet another Canadian cent. This one is a 1975. Next roll, yet another Canadian. Getting a lot of Canadians, but kind of struggling with the wheats in this box. This one's another 1981. Roll 42, another Canadian. This one looks like it could be a little bit older, at least in the 70s. Yep, and it's from 1970. Roll 46 is going to have a couple Canadian cents. First one is pretty close to being an ender, and it's in 1979. And then the second one is pretty far back in the roll. This one is a 76. Roll 47, yet another Canadian cent. At least this box is doing better in foreigns than box number 1. And this one's in 1989. Same roll, and I missed the edge. We finally have another wheat cent for this box. Probably going to be in the 40s or 50s, and it's a 1946 out of Denver. Both boxes have been hunted, so let's go over the finds. We got 12 1959s, 28 S-mints, and 24 2009s. And the reason we got so many S-mints is because in the second box we got all these really nice 1974 S's, which is pretty cool. Canadians, we got 19. A couple highlights were the two young heads from 1959 and 1962. And also wheat cents, we also got 19 from 1958. And then the oldest and best find of the hunt was that 1910. And then another cool thing was this 1957 that's pretty nice. Has a die chip. I think these are called BIE errors because of the die chip in between the B and the E. I'll probably set it aside, but it doesn't really have any extra value because they're pretty common. And then in terms of copper, second box actually did better than the first box because the first box only filled it about a third of the way, and then the rest of it was all the second box. So the second box is really good for copper as well as for foreigns, and the first box was good for wheats. So overall, it was a good hunt.